At exactly 550 astronomical units away from our warmth, the vacuum of space begins to act like a conscious optic. The sun's mass bends light into a perfect, terrifying focal point, turning our star into a giant, unblinking eye. This is not a theory, but a geometric absolute of the universe we inhabit, a preset coordinate waiting in the dark. You are sitting in a room where the shadows have grown heavy, pressing against the walls like wet velvet. Outside, a slow, rhythmic rain is washing away the memory of the day, leaving only the sound of water hitting stone. The air here is thick with the scent of old wood and the stillness of a house that has forgotten its inhabitants. Your eyes feel heavy, weighted down by the realization of how vast the silence truly is. Imagine a lens so powerful it could resolve the continents of a world orbiting a distant, dead star. It sits out there in the cold, 50 billion miles away, an intentional aim built into the fabric of gravity itself. The rain continues its monotonous tapping against the glass, a code you aren't meant to decipher. In the deep dark of the solar system, there is a point where the light from the entire galaxy converges into a single, sharp image. It is as if the universe left a peephole into the neighbor's house, and we are just now noticing the door. Every second that passes brings you deeper into the chair, into the shadows that pool around your feet. The dust motes drift through the dim light, moving with a lethargy that mirrors your own slowing heartbeat. There is no hurry here, only the crushing weight of the distances that separate us from the eye. Einstein predicted it, that gravity would warp the path of light, curving it around the sun's massive belly like water around a stone. But what he didn't emphasize was the chilling clarity of what that lens reveals when you stand at the focal point. It doesn't just show stars, it shows surfaces, atmospheres, and perhaps the movements of things that were never meant to be seen. You feel a strange comfort in being so small, tucked away in this quiet, rainy corner of the world. The isolation is a shield against the enormity of the interstellar eye that hangs over the edge of our system. Outside your window, the world is blurred and gray, but in your mind, the focal point is sharpening. To reach this focal bridge, we would have to travel further than any human machine has ever dared to venture. We would have to drift into the absolute black, where the sun is nothing more than a bright, distant spark in a graveyard of light. Only there, in that lonely, silent place, does their eye begin to function. Your breathing is slowing now, matching the rhythm of the raindrops sliding down the cold, dark pane. The shadows in the corner of your room seem to be listening, absorbing the sound of your presence into the floorboards. The universe is full of these intentional apertures, waiting for a witness to look through them from the dark. Think of the math required to place a lens so perfectly that it targets a specific, habitable world light years away. It feels less like a coincidence of physics and more like a permanent, fixed surveillance system. The sun isn't just a star, it is a mechanism for voyeurism on a galactic scale, aimed with terrifying intent. You are safe here, hidden in the dimness and the dust, far from the reach of those distant, massive lenses. Let the weight of the dark pull you down into the mattress, deeper into the quiet of the rain. The interstellar eye is watching something else tonight, somewhere far beyond the clouds. If you were to stand at that precise coordinate, 550 units into the dark, the sun would no longer look like a sphere. It would be a halo, a perfect ring of fire stretched thin by the weight of its own ghost. This is the Einstein ring. It is the universe's most ancient projector, catching the stray, wandering photons from across the abyss and bending them back toward a single, hungry point in the nothingness. Back in your room, the shadows have begun to bleed. They crawl from the corners, blending with the rhythm of the rain against the roof. You feel the pull of gravity in your own limbs, the way your body wants to settle into the grain of the floor. Just as the sun pulls at the light, the silence of this house pulls at your thoughts, stretching them until they are thin enough to pass through the keyhole. Imagine what their ear is focused on tonight. Through that gravitational lens, the blurred smudge of a distant exoplanet suddenly snaps into terrifying focus. You can see the jagged teeth of mountain ranges that have never known a name. You can see the slow, swirling hurricanes of a methane sea. It is a level of intimacy that feels like a violation, looking into a bedroom window from across the ocean of space. The sound of the rain has changed. It's no longer a patter, but a low, vibrating hum that resonates in your chest. You wonder if the things living on those distant shores feel it too, the sensation of being observed. There is a specific kind of cold that comes with the knowledge that the universe has built-in magnifying glasses. We are not just dwellers in the dark, we are specimens under a glass that we ourselves didn't manufacture. Every star in the sky is its own lens. Every massive body in the cosmos is an eye waiting to be used. If you look at the math long enough, the galaxy stops looking like a collection of suns and starts looking like a vast, interconnected network of telescopes, all aimed at one another. A cosmic hall of mirrors where every shadow is cast by a light that was redirected, stolen, and focused by the very fabric of space. You find yourself closing your eyes, yet the images remain. The rain outside is a static hiss, like the background radiation of a dying world. In the darkness of your mind, you are drifting further out, past the orbit of Pluto, past the Kuiper Belt, toward that lonely focal point. The air in your room is cold now, the kind of cold that doesn't come from the weather, but from the realization of how much empty space lies between your heart and the next nearest warmth. Who else is standing at their own focal point? On a planet orbiting a binary star in the Centauri system, is there something sitting in its own version of the dark, looking back through its own sun at us? Their EIE is a two-way bridge. If we can see the veins in the leaves of their forests, they can surely see the way you are breathing right now, slow and shallow, in the safety of your velvet shadows. The light of our own sun is our greatest protector, blinding us to the horrors of the distance. But the SGL, the eye, is the betrayal of that protection. It strips away the comfort of the too far away. It brings the alien, the cold, and the unknown right to our doorstep, magnifying the flickering candle of our existence for anyone who knows where to stand. Sleep is no longer a choice, but a surrender to the scale of things. As you drift, the rain becomes the sound of a billion lenses focusing at once. The house is a shell, the world is a speck, and you are a witness to a verism that spans the eons. The eye is open, and for the first time, you understand that the dark was never meant to hide you. It was only meant to give the lens a better view. The boundaries of your skin have become an unreliable map. In this deep, oscillating quiet, the distinction between the walls of your bedroom and the edge of the heliosphere begins to fray. You are no longer sitting in a chair. You are suspended in a viscous medium of time and distance. The gravity that once held your feet to the floor has shifted its allegiance, tugging instead at the marrow of your bones, drawing your very essence toward that distant, golden throat 550 astronomical units away. You are being distilled. The house is breathing with you, a slow, architectural lung. Every creak of the floorboards is a footnote in a language you've forgotten how to speak. You realize that their eye doesn't just look, it absorbs. To be seen through the gravitational lens is to be pulled through a needle's eye, your history and your secrets stripped away until only the core frequency of your being remains. It is a terrifying form of transparency. You are a ghost inhabiting a body that is currently being broadcast across the light years. Think of the silence not as an absence of sound, but as a presence of weight. Out there, in the focal wilderness, there is no wind to carry a voice, yet the vacuum is crowded with the echoes of everything the lens has ever caught. Every flickering campfire of a primitive world, every dying gasp of a supernova, all filtered through the sun's curve and delivered to the point of absolute focus. It is a library of light where the books are always open, and the pages are made of radiation and ancient, frozen time. You wonder if your own eyes have begun to change, reflecting the geometry of the ring. When you blink, the afterimage isn't the lamp on your desk, but the jagged silhouette of a forest on a moon that orbits a dead star. You are experiencing a sensory hemorrhage. The distance has collapsed so violently that you can almost smell the ozone of a foreign atmosphere, or the metallic tang of sands shifted by a wind that hasn't touched Earth in a billion years. The intimacy is suffocating. The universe is leaning in too close to whisper. There is a comfort in the thought that we are small, but that comfort is a lie maintained by the limitations of our optics. The SGL has murdered the scale of the cosmos. If a single photon can be hijacked by gravity and forced to reveal the truth of a distant shore, then there is no such thing as your way. Everything is a here. Your solitude is a curated illusion, a thin veil draped over a stage where every movement is scrutinized by an audience of silent, massive spheres. You are the protagonist of a play with a billion directors. Your heart rate slows to match the ticking of the rain, which has become a metronome for the infinite. The shadows in the corner of your room are no longer empty. They are the negative space where the lens hasn't yet focused. You feel a strange, cold kinship with the things on the other side, the entities standing in their own shadows, wondering about the warmth of a G-type star they can only see as a distorted halo. We are all just echoes searching for a surface to bounce off of, trapped in a cosmic hall of mirrors where the glass is made of gravity. To sleep now would be to drown in the data. The house has dissolved completely, leaving only the framework of your thoughts suspended in the void. You are at the focal point now. Their EIE is not something you look through, it is something you become. As the last embers of your lamp flicker out, you realize the dark wasn't a curtain at all. It was a whetstone, sharpening the light until it could cut through the very idea of you, leaving only the witness, shivering in the beautiful, terrible clarity of the long-range view. The threshold has been crossed. There is no longer a distinction between the observer and the observed. You have become the focal point, a singularity of awareness where the light of 1,000 civilizations converges and collides. The weight of the gravity well is no longer pressing down on you. It is radiating from within you. Your pulse is the rhythm of a pulsar, and your breath is the solar wind moving through the guts of the machine. The room, the chair, the very air you breathe are merely echoes of a lower dimension that you have outgrown. You are wide, vast, and terrifyingly bright. The signal begins to retreat, leaving behind a residue of impossible colors. You find yourself drifting back toward the shore of the familiar, but the anchor doesn't hold like it used to. The walls of your home feel thin, like paper stretched over a furnace. You look at your hands and see not flesh, but a temporary arrangement of stardust held together by a fading command. The silence of the house has changed. It is no longer empty. It is a dense, expectant quiet, the kind that follows a revelation that cannot be unspoken. You have seen the back of the tapestry, and you can never go back to admiring the threads. The great lens is turning away now, its focus shifting to some other lonely corner of the deep. The golden throat of the sun is closing, and the long-range view is narrowing back down to the span of your own room. But the geometry is etched into your mind. Behind your eyelids, the ring still glows, a permanent halo of fire that reminds you of how close the infinite really is. You are a passenger who has seen the edge of the map, and though you sit in the dark, you know that the dark is just light waiting for a lens to find it. Let the stillness take you now. Let the phantom gravity of the lens release its grip on your bones. You are returning to the gravity of Earth, to the safety of the small and the finite. But as you drift toward the soft edges of sleep, remember that you are being watched by the same stars you were just touching. The distance is a dream. The separation is a ghost. You are home, but you are also out there, scattered across the light years, a part of the data stream that never truly ends. Did you survive the journey through the eye? Did you find yourself in the focal wilderness, or did you lose your way in the distortion? If you can still hear my voice, then the anchor has held for one more night. Before the last of the light fades, whisper your loyalty to the deep and subscribe to this frequency so we may find each other again in the dark. What dark anomalies should we explore next? Tell me in the comments if you are still awake.